Costa Nation, someone number 52. Welcome back to Football Trends with me, OQB. Well, I have some good news and I have some bad news regarding our club. Well, the good news is finally, Kaizer Chiefs have decided to finally announce the signing of Thabo Moloisane. Now, Thabo Moloisane is a player who mangaya nje history kancane, you will understand is a player that has been wanted by Kaizer Chiefs. Unfortunately, azange simthole because Stellenbosch FC, which is a problem I think we're going to talk about right now when we got to indaba zama bad news. But then Thabo Moloisane is a player that we wanted to sign for the longest of time. Then Stellenbosch, kind of said thina in nalokhana, but at the end of the day we managed to reach an agreement with Thabo Moloisane, and then he decided, you know what, I'm not going to extend my stay upon Elon Stellenbosch. Same as Umjito Falls Pasadena. Unfortunately, I don't know why we did not have the courage to speak with the club in order to sign him, because look at him right now. I don't know what is happening to him, but in to our injuries and certain things like that. By the way, please don't forget to like the video, and also if you have not subscribed, please help me reach 50,000 subscribers by subscribing to the channel. We are currently on 46,000. We are getting there. Be short and 4,000 subscribers, but please do make sure that you subscribe if you have not yet subscribed, and also don't forget to click the notifications so that you don't miss out on new updates whenever I do an update in terms of the club. So Thabo Moloisane has signed. I'm not sure why they did not unveil to sign it for how long. Maybe it's because of where I looked at, but then he has signed, and I believe he signed a 3-year deal. I'm not sure about the options, the clause, the only thing that I do know is that he's coming in as a center back from Stellenbosch FC. He will be replacing, or he will be playing the position which I believe was being played by McCarthy, but I think Moloisane is more of a so it's not a problem. I'm happy with that. But apart from that, we do have something that we need to talk about when it comes to other players. There's a player whom we wanted to sign, Ndlovu from Golden Arrows, and Rapoo from Isiwelele FC. Now, unfortunately, the bad news is that Rapoo, the left back from Isiwelele, which we've talked about in recent days, has been signed by Orlando Pirates, same as Ndlovu, which is a winger. Now, we did talk about it. There's reports of Maccabi Lepo, wanting to leave the club, and also interest coming in, even though Kaizer Chiefs were not, entertaining those offers. Honestly speaking, Ndlovu would have made a great acquisition to the team. So this takes us back to what Khalid Ben Yusuf was saying. Most best players, they end up at Orlando Pirates, and Orlando Pirates, they're very smart guys. They're very, very smart. They are not sleeping on signing players. They make sure they try by all means to get players. I know there's this motto of saying players, when it comes to Kaizer Chiefs, ama prices wabo ayanyuga or bayawanyusa, they go as much high as they possibly can be. But honestly speaking, it's not every player that is the situation. Also, you have to keep in mind what Kaizer Chiefs has a certain rule that they use. Like, for example, if they want a player and they are willing to spend only 5 million, Mabafila Labor, this player is about 6 million, they will be like, no, we're not going to sign him. You understand? So that is also something that we need to look at. We can't be defending everything that they do and say no, it's because other clubs, they bakopula my players and stuff. Another thing is that we have to look at is buyout clause. Players are being signed by teams. If there's a buyout clause, whenever a player or the club is not willing to let go of that player, and the player is willing to go, he wants to play somewhere else, if there's a buyout clause, Abachita, they activated. When was the last time did you hear that Kaizer Chiefs has activated a buyout clause for a player? Except for coach Nasreddin Nabi. That was the only time Kaizer Chiefs I remember from my side, activating a buyout clause. So right now, when it comes to some players, it is something that they do not do. So it's going to be interesting to see who we are going to bring in, because now, remember, on the list that we were given by Khalid Ben Yusuf, it did say they wanted a left winger, top class, a midfielder. I believe it's an attacking midfielder that they were looking for. A left back, which the left back is gone. Neo Rapoo is out of the list. We're not going to look at him. There is interest of players like Komhleli Mabuza. I do understand there is interest. Kaizer Chiefs have renewed their interest in terms of signing those players. Now, you see the problem that Kaizer Chiefs has. You let go of some of the best players and then you look at, second options. That is the biggest problem that Kaizer Chiefs has. And it is something bekakhuluma ngayo coach Khalil Ben Yusuf. And then we look at the goalkeeper. Now goalkeeper, it is someone that is wanted. I'm not sure if Apelele Namaplayer Lana, but I do feel like I'm missing someone in terms of this list. Well, we'll look at it and then confirm if I'm correct or I'm not. But so far, it's a process. It is a process. I'm hoping with the new people that they've brought in, things probably are going to be different. There's one thing that I want us to remember when it comes to a club like Kaizer Chiefs. Whenever they sign people that are well known, they do not perform as much as people who are not well known. People who are not well known, this thing, they tend to perform a lot more at Kaizer Chiefs because they feel like maybe they want they have the hunger and they want to be seen out there. Because remember, a club like Kaizer Chiefs, there's no one who doesn't know this club. This brand is such a massive, big brand that anywhere in the world, I've seen fans Kaizer Chiefs in Mexico. I've seen fans United States. I've been seeing pictures of all over the world of fans that are Kaizer Chiefs supporters, getting or showing us what they are following this big brand. So definitely, if you play for this club, you will make it. Naganjani. If you don't believe me, look at coaches like Cedric Kazi. Currently, he's working for Isikukune. Kukune would have never noticed him or never thought about him. Look at Khalil Ben. He's going to Devon City. They would have never thought about him if it wasn't for a club like Kaizer Chiefs. And then you look at, everyone else. They are doing exceptionally well wherever they are because they've been in this big institution. So definitely I can go on to name Abu Banbani who went out there, who were doing this, who were doing that, but I'm not going to do that. So it is something that we need to keep in mind when it comes to this big club. But definitely people who are not well known, they tend to perform a lot better. Right now, he's flexing a little bit. He was even posting with Hamba, you understand, because he knew what already he has the exposure that was needed for him in order to be able to go wherever he wants to go. But that's just my opinion. It is a possibility that sometimes you sign a player who is well known and then Bafika by performing. Understand? So we can't dispute that. There's a lot of players I can make examples of. They just fell out of favor, or later on something happened and then it became a bit of a problem. Understand? But other than that, no, I think definitely. So I don't know about too. We have lost those players. Who should we sign? Because definitely I do agree with the list of Khalil Ben Yusuf. We do need a goalkeeper. I'm not going to talk much about Tutaganan Mazamba, but we do need a goalkeeper who's going to be ready to play. We do need, because you can see how they were giving him a chance. Obviously, they wanted to see if they can be able to integrate him and then maybe let go for Vuma. I don't know, but we need a goalkeeper. And since chances are Ovuma might go, we will definitely need a replacement. And then we need left back that is going to help with Aiden Bradley Cross, because even last season, whenever Bradley Cross was not available, we opted to play with Aiden McCarthy as the left back and then introduce someone else to play that center back instead of playing a left back that we have, because we do have Onkoyesa, we do have Basaka Marco, and then Shinga is a player who unfortunately Tiwa is injury prone, which is the biggest problem. And hence I did tell you guys, Uti, the coaches do not like that player. Back then I did try to tell you Uti, there was a problem or a situation between him and the players, hence he was not even getting a lot of game times, and there were a lot of things just behind that. So we also have the problem in terms of attacking midfielder and a left winger. Yes, I know Pai is a great player, but honestly speaking, he's not yet ready. He still needs some work, and also he's playing for a big institution, so it's only fair for him to be a bit under pressure and also try to perform at his best level, which can be a problem because whenever you're trying to do something as best as you can, you end up doing mistakes, doing things ngendlela ekungamelanga. But then if you relax, you calm your nerves, then definitely you will be able to do what needs to be done. Well, guys, I think this is it for today. To see Valelapo, I've been watching Bafana Bafana, and I'm not gonna say much. Let's just wait and see the next game that we're going to play, because yeah, definitely we do need a win. We do need a win, and we do need some teams to lose. So, I don't know, but peace.